Hi, Mrs. Cobb. Would you mind telling us a little about yourself? Well, I was a pioneering scientist and educator who fought for the rights of women and minorities in sciences. That's quite an interesting profession. Oh, yes, it was. So, tell me a little bit about where you were educated in these subjects. Well, I started at University of Michigan, but I didn't really like the segregated housing there at that school. So, where did you go next to finish your education? Well, after I left Michigan, I transferred over to Talladega College in Alabama. Problem is there that they don't accept transfer credits, so I have to restart all over again, which is kind of a fun fact there. But, fun fact, I managed to still finish my degree a year early, even with transferring in 1944. That's quite interesting. And while I graduated in 1944, I also became a member of the Alpha sorority. Interestingly, though, after that, I was actually denied a fellowship for graduate study in biology at New York University, mostly because, well, I was an African-American person, but I was granted the fellowship after an interview, and then got my master's degree in New York in 1947. And another interesting thing is that I got my PhD in cell physiology in 1950. So what did you do after 1950? Where did you go? Well, after 1950, I settled down for a little bit, but in 1952, I started bouncing around different colleges and universities while conducting my research and finished that in 1969. And from 1969 to 1976, I was interestingly the Dean of Connecticut College in New Zealand, and even more interestingly, I for some reason taught zoology as well. And did you go anywhere else after that? Well, from 76 to 81, I was a professor of biological sciences at Douglas College, and another interesting fact, I also served as the dean at that school as well as had been dean in another school as well. I really did love teaching kids, apparently. Well, now that we know a little bit about you, tell us, what did you contribute to your field of research? Well, I contributed to the field of chemotherapy with my research on how some drugs affected cancer cells. And, importantly, I discovered that methoxylated was an effective treatment of certain skin cancers, lung cancers, and childhood leukemia. And interestingly, those treatments are still being used today, even though there's multiple new procedures that can be done. And another fun fact is that I was the first person to publish research on dactomycin's ability to treat cancer by reducing nucleoli in the nucleus. And do you have any more interesting facts to tell us about yourself? Well, in my later years, I ended up being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and I was responsible for having an apartment complex built that ended Fullerton's College as a commuter college, which is one of my most prized tasks at a college. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Cobb, for your time to take this interview, and I really appreciate what you've done for our society and how you've helped us so much.